Hello, hello, hello. Sports Game Vision here with the pop up live, Detroit Live. If you're joining in the building, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already to the channel. Hit all those positive buttons. Support your guy here at Sports Game Vision. I'm Hank, by the way. Here's some of my contact information for other platforms, and if you want to reach out to the channel. And again, this is a pop up live for Detroit, something I've been holding back on for a little bit, but we're going to get the show started in uh, after this buzzer here. Here we go. Here we go. We're back. Sports Game Vision. I'm Hank, the host of this show on this channel. We're talking a little about Detroit, Michigan's sports here. I've been meaning to do this for about a week or so. Had the idea to do this on the channel, and this is my hometown. This is where I'm from. I lived in other places, but this was born and raised, and I got a lot of love for the teams and sports there. It's a great sports town. Definitely made me a sports fan throughout my life. So, without further ado, again, pop up live, Sports Game Vision, Detroit. And the first order of business I'm going to say here is happy birthday to our state, 187 years old. Um, it's a long time of the formation and of the state. Just want to give a quick happy birthday to the state of Michigan, and say what up though to all my Detroit people out there. And we're gonna get involved into what I really started to make this pop up for, and that's for the reunion of sorts of some of my childhood favorites, the Fab Five. They are back together finally after all these years. They went to back national championships in the early 90s. They were the first freshmen to start all together. They were like top recruits. What is it? 5-star recruits. All of them were. They could have went anywhere else. They decided to come to Michigan and start together as all freshmen. The first freshmen in the history of the NCAA to do so. And as you can see, we got Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Ray Jackson, Dwight Howard, Jimmy King. It's not Dwight Howard, Jawan Howard, and Jimmy King. All of them are part of the Fab Five. We're gonna start that over because I messed up on the name. Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Jawan Howard, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson. Part of the Fab Five. As you can see, I know a lot of names now, so you mix them up sometimes. But that's the Fab Five guys. They got a documentary on ESPN that was pretty good about their tenure there. It's a 2-year run, really, with all five of them. I believe the other four stayed 3 years together and then left, but they went to 2 straight national championships together. They were that team. If you know me, you know that I'm not really a Michigan guy like that. But in the early 90s, yes, the Fab Five, the baggy shorts, the Nikes, they were that team. Everyone wanted to play like them, be like them, and they were cool kids on the block, as you can see here. This is the first year they're together, I believe, as the Fab Five. And Juwan Howard is now the coach of Michigan. He's not having the greatest of years right now, but it prompted them to get back together. And this picture here was real big, as you can see them all together. But of course, Chris Webber and Jalen Rose really had a really strong feud going on. They hadn't talked for a long time, and seeing them back together, man, is real cool. Chris Webber went to the Hall of Fame. Of course, Jillian's had a great broadcasting career outside of the game, and seeing them two brothers patch it up after the whole scandal that happened with benefits, illegal benefits being in Michigan. They got the banners taken down, the back-to-back banners taken away, which is crazy. They need to fix that, give them their banners back up there in Michigan. They deserved and earned it. And of course, now with the NIL money, that should be mute, and they should get their respect back and their legacy back up there in Ann Arbor. But just seeing the game back together was, I thought that was really cool. As you can see here, they're on the list of the most watched games in college basketball history. Two of their games, the national championship games, are on there along with my school, Michigan State, with Magic Johnson. I believe, yeah, that's up there. And of course, Duke and Michigan, 92. And then further down, you've got Michigan and North Carolina, which is the famous timeout game where prompted Chris Webber to go pro after he lost that game. But then, of course, they got another one down there. I believe that is the Glenn Rice team that took them to the national championship. Ramil Robinson, with Steve Fisher coaching. He went on to forgot where he went to go coach next. Oh yeah, I think he coached Kawhi Leonard later on. But he won a national championship in Michigan first in '89. That's a highly ranked, viewed program. But yeah, these guys right here, the Fab Five, first freshmen to start, and now they are back together, which is a very, very cool sight. Moving on, guys. This is the other reason that I made the video. It took me a few days to kind of get my thoughts together because, it's kind of hurtful a little bit. Excited, but hurtful. And it will be, here we go here. We're going to pop my graph in here in 1, 2, and 3. Our guys here, the Detroit Lions, they were not able to complete the task at hand and get to the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history. As you can see, we got a lot of good players on this team, the right coaches, the right everything to be back here next year, by Amon Ra St. Brown. And it was kind of tough to see them lose, especially when they had the lead and they really should have won the game, but they gave it up. But you just still, if you're a Detroiter, you understand the pain. Here's the hat right here. A lot of people not gonna understand the pain that the Lions have went through. There's only a few teams that organizations that can really understand what Detroit fans are going through. The New Orleans Saints and their fans, they know, even though they're winning no more now, they won a Super Bowl, but they had a very, very long stretch of being bad. And of course, I believe the Cleveland Browns fans can understand, but not many franchises can understand what the Detroit Lions and the city is going through, and their really, really rough patch they've had over these last 30 or so years, or even more than that, because they haven't been to the Super Bowl at all since the merger and since it became the Super Bowl. They did have a few championships before they created the Super Bowl, but they have not had any type of chance since. But with this great coach that we have, I do believe in him. I know a lot of people are upset with some of the decisions that he made. Dan Campbell, as you can see, he was official January 20th, 2021, and it was a great hire. The very famous press conference where he's talking about being tough, and pretty much the all grit started there. I've been a fan ever since. We've had a lot of coaches, and he's the first one that I'm like, whoa, I kind of like this guy. And he's proven it. As you can see here, as I pull my next graph, you'll be able to see the improvement that he's done with this team every single year. And all the players have bought into him. Even when you watch the games where they weren't winning a lot of games when he first started, they believed in him and they played hard for him. And it's proving to be successful because of what happened this year. And you can see the improvement. That first year was really rough. The second year, they didn't start out well either. They won like 8 straight games just to get to that 9-8 record, something like that, just to make they almost made the playoffs last year. And then this year, of course, they started out really good and didn't really look back. They probably could have had an even better record. They kind of blew some games. It's part of the reason they lost this game is some of the similar behaviors where they had big leads and they let teams come back. But overall, I'm looking for improvement, and I believe he will do it. Um, you know, here's a Eminem. He celebrated a little bit too early. I wasn't doing that even when we were up. What was it, 21 to 7 or something at the time? I wasn't celebrating too early. I'm like, I know it's a lot of football left, and they see the biggest blunders that happen in the game, the drop pass. Dan not going for the field goal, and of course we had the fumble late in the game. With him, it's live and die. You live and die by the sword. It reminds me of the switching sports a little bit, but it reminds me of the was it 93, 94 Knicks. And if you remember that time period, uh, that game 7 was a very bad game for John Starks. He didn't shoot well at all. It was like 118 or something like that. And when Pat Riley was interviewed at the end of the game, they asked him, says, well, I'm going to live what got us here. Live and die by what got us here. And John Starks was one of those guys that got us here. So that's what he did with his decision making. Dan Campbell did. He lived and died by it. And if you were listening to the telecast, he actually has the highest percentage of being successful on fourth downs. Of course, that's not a very high percentage overall in being successful with it, but he's the best. He is the most successful when doing so this year. But obviously it's a low percentage tactic, and we paid for it in the end. Well, the Lions paid for it, and they didn't get the game. But those 2 field goals or so would have put them over the hump to win the game and get to the very first Super Bowl in franchise history. And I know he said he's not regretting the decision. He did say that. I'm sure he's thought about it, obviously, and he's made this comment here. This may have been our best shot. Dan Campbell on what he told his team after the loss. And I don't know if that's really I don't think he said that to be negative. I think he said that to tell the guys that we're kind of unexpected to be here. People are not, you know how it is. It's like once you become that team, now everybody's going to play you even harder. Sort of like when Golden State arrived in basketball, or even New England Patriots arrived in football, or even in the current era, the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going to get teams very best all the time. It's not going to be able to like just sneak past and get through. Now you gotta go even harder to get there. It's going to be a harder task to get there. And I don't think he's saying that they can't get back. It's just going to be way tougher to get there now that they weren't able to kind of be like the underdogs. Now they're going to be a team that's kind of expected to have the, chance to get there, and the team should get better. I'm sure they're going to make good personnel changes, and also free agents and all that good stuff, draft picks. And, obviously want to see them get back there. It's been a long drought for my team and my city. As you can see here, the last time the Lions were in the conference championship game was in 91, and those 4 franchises did not exist. Baltimore was Cleveland. If you young folks don't know that, that's actually Cleveland Browns. That's the same franchise, but they moved. And then they had to create a new Cleveland Browns. But yeah, it's been a long, long time. I was, very little kid when that game happened, barely remember it. And now to be able to see it as an adult, them getting back there, it was a great, great, great time to see. And I am proud, just, disappointed that they weren't able to get the job done. And as you can see there, we're saying the players saying we're going to be back. He apologized to the Lions fans. And of course, you see how the internet is undefeated. They're saying, people from Baltimore and Detroit thought they was going to be wearing buffs and shooting dice, bumping 42 Doug at the Super Bowl. Basically said we was going to be straight up hood out there. Hey, Baltimore, Detroit would have been a good Super Bowl. Everybody been repping, man. And you seen Detroit was out there in San Francisco, pretty tough. If you seen the beginning of the game, they were chanting Jared Goff, and I know he's from out there, but I mean that's still like that's not that's the opposition's territory. So it was still good to see them actually get there. Now it's just time to get back, and this time finish the deal. And I know that they can do it. It's just going to be a little bit tougher to do so. Moving on here, guys, in my Detroit swag here, we're gonna talk about my school, where I'm from, my school I went to, and my guy, Tom Izzo, got 700 wins, the most in Big Ten history. As you can see, he's setting a whole bunch of records over these last few years. The most wins on a lower seed, higher seed as a coach. He's has a Hall of Fame career, definitely, and he was. Um, I'm looking forward to him winning another championship. That's the one thing that is missing from his resume. Tom Izzo is a guy that he loves to create guys that are unknowns. Sort of like I don't know if you guys remember Dan Tony that was up there as coaching for the football team. He was getting like 3-star recruits and making them better in his system, and they did really well in his tenure. We were actually the first state of Michigan team to get to the Final Four of the championship was Michigan State under his watch. But Izzo, he's a national champion himself. He's got a ring, won in 2000, got back in 2009 with Draymond and them guys. And the only reason he doesn't really have another ring is because he didn't do the one and done things and get the top recruits. If he did that, he definitely would have had another ring by now. But it's great to see him still excel and do well, and hopefully he can top off his career with another championship before he hangs it up. As you've seen in the previous graph, he said he's not going to do a farewell tour. He's just going to hang it up like what's his guy's name, Saban, and just head off into the sunset. He said Jay Wright and also like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan just dipped on everybody when he retired. That's the kind of retirement he wants to do. And, shout out to him when he does it. As you can see, he's over Bob Knight, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Big Ten, he has almost 40 more wins than him. And it's going to keep going. I don't necessarily see Izzo retiring anytime soon. He's got his own legacy and buildings and all type of stuff up there. And I'm sure them donors are very, very generous with Tom Izzo up at Michigan State. I haven't been back in a while, but I know they've done a lot of building. I've seen it. A few of my family members go there, and I got to get back up there to see the new stuff. But yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. And shout out to Izzo. Congratulations on getting 700. Now just get that other championship. It was a point in time where Izzo may have surpassed Krzyzewski, Coach K. You know what I'm talking about. Can't say his name right. But there was a point in time that Krzyzewski went out and got all those one and dones and one like multiple more championships to add to his resume. But there was a point where Izzo looked like he was going to be able to pass him up. But no, he pumped them brakes real quick and got his legacy back together. But on to the next topic. And again, congratulations to my school. Get into the tournament this year because you know how Izzo does. He makes miracles happen in that tourney. So go ahead and get in, guys. On to the next topic, though. We're going to move on to something about Piston related. I hope this happens for this guy, Tony Snell. He's looking to get signed to a team so that he can extract the benefits for his family. He has until, I believe, Friday. Hopefully one of these teams will just give him a spot. But you know how organizations do. They don't want to pay you benefits. They even for an organization as big as the NBA, I just hope that he's able to get, his family covered. He has some health issues within the family, so to his kids. And so one of them teams can give him a spot, man. Come on, let him get something, lock into them benefits. Looking hopefully maybe the Pistons will get him back for a contract or briefly or whatever, so he can, lock into those benefits. But shout out to Tony Snell. Hope everything works out for you, brother. The next order of business I got for you guys is I didn't talk about it, but my guy here, you see, let me show you. You see what I got on. You see what I got on now. I'm a bad boy, and he's the real bad boy. Bill Ain't Beer is been nominated for the Hall of Fame. I believe is well deserved. Being a fan, you see my other guy over there is Chauncey on the other part of the graph, and I'm hoping he gets it too. But I believe Bill's going to get in. His career was very underrated. All the hate that he has as a player, but with his coaching career, he has 3 championships as a coach. So as in the WNBA, so I believe with that mix, he should probably get in. I don't know if they're gonna get my boy Chauncey right away, but hopefully he does too. But shout out to the stretch four. They're one of the original stretch fours. Bill Ain't Bill. You see, he's known for his bad boy ways, fighting Charles Barkley over there. But this guy, he was underrated on his defensive play. He was a great mid-range shooter, and he shot long distance as well. That's why I said one of the first stretch bigs in this era. I think he would definitely survive. I know there. Gil always say that he wouldn't be able to. And I've seen him play in Cleveland as well when he got more shot opportunities, and he was lethal. So I definitely believe in this era where he'd probably be even more valued. He'd be just okay. He'd be more than okay. Maybe even greater than he was in that era. So congratulations to you again, Bill, and to Chauncey and to Vince and the Matrix over there, their nominations. And we'll see. I think it's February 16th. They're going to announce who is getting in. On to more Detroit topics here. The Pistons, the young Pistons. That's right. They just took an L tonight, but that's all right. But we got these rising stars here, man. They're going to be in the game. As you can see, I've been bragging about the young fellas. My guy right here, Jay, where you at? Where you at? I hope you're still listening. You can say something in the comments about it. Salute to you, salute. But he is always talking about these Pistons, just like I am. I see the future is bright. The guy Jalen Duran right there is a big fella. He plays kind of old school, but he has some of the new school traits he can shoot and stuff as well. He's just got to obviously work on it a little bit. He's still young. I think he just turned 20. And then you got Jaden Ivey, who mom played for Bill Laimbeer on the championship team for the Detroit Shock. He's a Detroit native pretty much himself. His granddad played for the Lions, and he wanted to be drafted to the Pistons. He's here. He's going to be in the Rising Star game, and he's finally getting more minutes. Of course, he's got more development to do too, a little while, but his athleticism, his ability to get to the rim is very good, and with honing the skills, they're going to be very dangerous, especially these two in a pick and pop situation in the future. And of course, we got Cade as well. It's going to be very interesting to see what these guys do in the future, but hopefully a very good game to showcase what they can do. As you can see here, my guys got some wins this month. I had looked at the schedule previous to the month, and I said they could probably get about 5 wins. They only got 3, but that's better than what we had. As all y'all know, we had that 27-28 game losing streak. At least they got some more wins. We got Gallinari playing now, playing good, and Cade is back. So hopefully they rip off another 6 wins before the end of the season and avoid that dangerous worst team of all time record. But yes, shout out to the Pistons organization and players and former players, and let's get it. My next order of business is going to be another Detroit native, Alycia Baumgardner. She was cleared to box. The WBC came out and said that they didn't see her knowingly ingesting any illegal substance from all of their research and findings of the matter, and they have cleared her to be able to fight again. She is on a 1 year suspension and, well, not suspension, a 1 year probation from the date of the occurrence. And she's cleared to box again. So she's been in the gym. If you've been following her, she's been in that gym. She's in the gym pretty hard. She's already been in there before all this, but she's ramping it up now, getting ready to possibly fight another Michigan native. And I kind of hate to see it because I thought they was buddy old pals. Clarissa Shields, she's fighting at what, 160, I believe, and Alycia is at the 130 something range, 137, I believe. I think they've agreed in some ways to fight at 154 maybe. She said 147, but they might do 154. Both of them are multi-time champs, undisputed, multiple divisions. Um, it'll be a big payday now. And I'm a wrestling fan, so there's a shoot and there's kayfabe and a work rather. Sometimes this could be a work because especially in boxing, you gotta, even in wrestling, you gotta build up the fight to make money. So maybe it's more something of that nature. They know they can make big money together. As I think I've heard Ali say, if you're somebody's friend, you'd fight them so they can get paid. So, maybe that's what this is here. And we'll see if that's the case. But yeah, she's cleared to fight from the WBC, and we'll see what that next fight is going to be. I think she'll probably need a tune up before she fights Clarissa if that really happens, but we'll see what they do from here. Well, I got one more topic for you guys, and then I'm gonna head on out. Was not a very long live again. This was really for shouting out my brothers, Michigan, the Fab Five, giving my venting session for the Lions, and hoping that they do well in the next season and get back. And of course, Piston Power right here, hoping that they really turn it around for the rest of the season. Of course, next season come out firing on all cylinders, Piston Power. And then we got another topic of from the rival school of mines, but they just won the national championship. Shout out to them, the University of Michigan. They won the national championship. Congratulations. They were undefeated. And this is a guy who went there, played there. He's won, I believe, Big Ten championships as a player. He's done it as a coach. He got them back over the hump. They had the very first tough patch as a school in the football department when they got rid of, what's his name, Lloyd Carr. Then after that, it's been downhill, but he really turned it around for the organization and for the school. And now he's doing what he really wanted to do in the first place. He never wanted to leave the NFL, but he's going back. You can see here some of his coaching destinations and what he's done, and mostly California stuff. And he's going back to California, going back to Cali. He's going back, man. He's going to be with the the Chargers. He played there in his playing days, and now he's going to be the coach. So, when he coached San Francisco, they got to the Super Bowl. Obviously, they're going back again, but he was a pretty good coach in the NFL. His brother is a good coach as well. They didn't get it done this year, but he's won a championship. As you can see here, his brother's down there for the national championship game when they won. Jim Harbaugh, and he's, I believe John is signed on. John is his brother. Jim Harbaugh signed on for about $16 million a year for those Los Angeles Chargers. A lot of scratch to come back to the game and to the NFL where he really wanted to be in the first place. But obviously to be able to go back to his alma mater and do something historic there is always, I'm sure, a good feeling. And then go back and have a perfect story ending to the story of his career. If he can win a championship as a coach there, I'm sure that'll be something he would love. But shout out to Jim Harbaugh, to John Harbaugh, and the Michigan family, and congratulations, man, getting that money, getting that championship, and on to bigger and brighter things. But that's all I've got for you today, guys. This is my Detroit pop up live. I'll probably do a few more here and there. Um, and again, y'all have a great evening. I'm gonna start getting myself together for getting my scratch. Gotta get my paper. They got theirs. I ain't got 16 million yet. I want it though. I want it though. Again, Detroit Pop Up Live. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to everybody that watches on the playback, and definitely uh, follow the channel, subscribe, hit all those positive buttons. We creators really appreciate you doing that for us. If you want to reach out in any way, here's some of my other uh, social media platforms you can go to. And again, Fridays I do my show with some of the fellas. I mean, if there's nobody available, obviously I'll be doing it myself. But for the most part, everybody is here on Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, and we stream through other platforms as well. But this is the main gallery of sports talk on Friday. Definitely tune in, rock with your guy, Hank with Sports Game Vision. Y'all have a great evening. Be safe, and I will see you again pretty soon. And as I always say, sports game, you know the vision. Peace.